there are too many things. You can keep the presenter view on also. You will not get it like that. You will have to. That's not the presentation. This is Bhakti Vaibhav slides. Give me. Oh, this is Bhakti Vaibhav slide. Ruko. Go next. Hare Krishna. So we welcome all of you to Sunday morning class. Today is Ekadashi. Ekadashi is the auspicious occasion of Lilamrta reading. The reading of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta. And so first we will sing a little bhajan to glorify Srila Prabhupada. I hope you know this bhajan. You can repeat once after me. O he Vaishnava Thakura, Doyar Sagara, Edase Koruna Kori. O revered Vaishnava Thakur, O ocean of mercy, please be merciful to me, your humble servant. So we are begging the great Acharya for his mercy. Diya pada chaya, Shodo he amaya, Tomara charana dhori. By allowing me to receive the shade of your lotus feet, please purify me. Your feet I clasp submissively. So asking for the shade of the lotus feet from Srila Prabhupada. Chaya vega domi, chaya dosha shodhi, chaya guna deho dase. Please help me to control the 6 urges, purify me of the 6 faults, and please instill in your servant the 6 good qualities. So he's saying, just like we have these Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mad, Maya, Matsarya. So these are the 6 faults that are there. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur is praying like this. The 6 urges, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jivha Vegam, Udaropastha Vegam. So 6 urges of speech, of tongue, of belly, of anger, of mind, of genitals. 6 urges. So please help me to control. On my own I am not able to control. And these 6 faults, please purify me of them. Chaya sata sangha deho he amare, boshe shi sangera ashe. Oh, bestow upon me the 6 kinds of holy association. I am seated here in the hope of having your company. So Bhaktivedanta Thakur is asking here, please give me all the good association. Association of Vaishnavas, association of the Holy Dham, association of the Acharyas, like that. Give me all the good association. Eka ki amara nahi paya bala, Hari Nama Sankirtane, Tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya, Deho Krishna Nama Dhane. I have to keep going ahead. On my own, I find I have no strength to chant the holy name of Lord Hari. Please be merciful by awarding me with a particle of faith and giving me the great treasure of the holy name of Krishna. On my own, I have no strength, no bala, no strength. I cannot chant also, but by your mercy, you give me a little bit of faith by which I can move ahead. I get Krishna Prema Dhana. Krishna se tomara Krishna dite paro, tomara shakati ache. Ami to Kangala Krishna Krishna boli, dhai tava pache pache. Krishna is yours, therefore you are able to give him to others. This is certainly within your power. I am indeed wretched and fallen, simply running after you, crying, Krishna, Krishna. So here in this very nice prayer, we see Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, he is praying like that Krishna is yours. If you want, you can give him to me. I am just running behind you simply. calling out Krishna, Krishna. You can go ahead. Next. O he Vaishnava Thakura Doyara Sagara Edase Koruna Kori. O he Vaishnava Thakura Doyara Sagara Edase Koruna Kori. Diya pada chaya shodo he amar. তোমার চরণ ধরে ও হে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর হে দাসে করুণা করি। ছায়া বেগদমে ছায়া দোষ শোধি ছায়া গুণ দেও দাসে। ছায়া সৎসঙ্গ দেহ হে আমারে বসে শ্রী সঙ্গের আসে। ও হে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর হে দাসে করুণা করি। একাকী আমার নাহি পায়া বলা হরি নাম সংকীর্তনে। তুমি কৃপা করে শ্রদ্ধা বিন্দু দিয়া দেহ কৃষ্ণ নাম ধানে। ও হে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর হে দাসে করুণা করি। কৃষ্ণ সে তোমার কৃষ্ণ দিতে পারো তোমার শক্তি আছে। আমি তো কঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি আমি তো কঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি। ধাই তো পাছে পাছে ও হে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর হে দাসে করুণা করি। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Purajak Acharya Stotar Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Purajak Acharya Stotar Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki. Acharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki. Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahit Advaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunivadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Paditana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta. So this is a very special book. See what happens, we study Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada instituted the study of Srimad Bhagavatam. So there are two types of Bhagavata. One is the book Bhagavata and one is the person Bhagavata. The book Bhagavata mentions all the principles that a pure devotee, he follows in his journey of devotional service in his lifetime. Now, the examples we find in the Srimad Bhagavatam, you will find that they are not exactly contemporary examples. These events did not happen now. 5,000 saal purva, or even much more than that, it happened. So, because they happened so far, sometimes one may think, oh, is this practical for this age? But then you have the book Bhagavata, the person Bhagavata, who in his life, through different events in his life, you will find that he acts and responds to situations completely embodying the spiritual principles of the book Bhagavatam. So that is Srila Prabhupada's life. So his life is, not only it is Lilamrta, that means it is the nectar of a pastime, they are nectarian pastimes, but they are great lessons for anyone wanting to take inspiration and for anyone wanting to practically see how in today's age the principles of Bhakti Yoga can be applied. So we learn this through the way Srila Prabhupada responded to situations and what his level of consciousness was. The analysis of that we understand. So that is why these Lilamrita readings have been instituted in our society. In many temples on the day of Ekadashi, we read from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. So then you see a different flavor of the Bhagavatam. On a daily basis, we study Sanskrit shlokas and then we talk about Krishna and how his devotees, they functioned, they interacted. We study that. And on, from Lilamrita, we are actually going through Srila Prabhupada's life. It's a study. Okay, so we do a little reading and then we discuss also. Actually, because of the ominous influence of the Kali millennium, this was historically the worst of times for spiritual cultivation, hippie revolution or not. And Srila Prabhupada was trying to transplant Vedic culture into a more alien ground than had any previous spiritual master. So he expected to find his work extremely difficult. Yet, in this generally bad age, just prior to Prabhupada's arrival on the Lower East Side, tremors of dissatisfaction and revolt against Kali Yuga culture itself began vibrating through American society, sending waves of young people to wander the streets of New York's Lower East Side in search of something beyond the ordinary life, looking for alternatives, seeking spiritual fulfillment. These young people, broken from their stereotyped materialistic backgrounds and drawn together now on New York's Lower East Side, were the ones who were by chance or choice or destiny to become the congregation for the Swami's storefront offerings of kirtan and spiritual guidance. The Swami's arrival went unnoticed. The neighbor said, someone new had taken the gift shop next to the laundry. There was a strange picture in the window now, but no one knew what to make of it. Some passers-by noticed a piece of paper announcing classes in Bhagavad Gita taped to the window. A few stopped to read it, but no one knew what to make of it. They did not know what Bhagavad Gita was, and the few who did thought maybe a yoga bookstore or something. The Puerto Ricans in the neighborhood would walk in the window at Harvey Cohen's painting and then blankly walk away. The manager of the mobile gas station next door couldn't care less who had moved in. It just didn't make any difference. The tombstone sellers and undertakers across the street didn't care. And for the drivers of the countless cars and trucks that passed by, Swamiji's place didn't even exist. But there were young people around who had been intrigued with the painting, who went up to the window to read the little piece of paper. Some of them even knew about the Bhagavad Gita, although the painting of Lord Chaitanya and the dancers didn't seem to fit. A few thought maybe they would attend Swami Bhaktivedanta's classes and check out the scene. So now we are here. This chapter is called Breaking Ground. You know, there is a word in English called groundbreaking. We use this word, groundbreaking. Groundbreaking means, it's a breakthrough. Something new has started. So, because the end of this chapter, we find that Srila Prabhupada has successfully accomplished and established ISKCON society. He's actually got his first group of followers. That's why breaking ground. इतने संघर्ष के बाद, after so much of austerity, so much of tapasya, finally Srila Prabhupada is getting something, success. He's going to meet with success. So this is the Lower East Side. Just to take a short recap. So this is Srila Prabhupada, who's 70 years old. He has he got a free passage on the cargo ship called Jaladuta from the Skindia Steamship Company by Sumati Murarji. And because of that, he boarded the steamship. So Prabhupada did not have, this is 1965. Prabhupada had no money, not because he was poor, because he decided to fully dedicate himself to the preaching mission of his spiritual master and depend on Krishna for everything else, including his maintenance and expansion. So Srila Prabhupada, he boarded the Jaladuta from Calcutta. From Bombay, the books, Srimad Bhagavatam, they arrived on the cargo ship. Nobody goes on a cargo ship in a journey to go to America. Free passage he got. And so when the books came, they were loaded. So Srila Prabhupada, so somebody asked him, Swamiji, you are taking books with you? You're taking Srimad Bhagavatam books with you? He said, no, the Srimad Bhagavatam is going to America. I am simply accompanying it. So that was Srila Prabhupada's mood, that he was going to become an instrument in the delivery of the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. This he has written in his poem, Markine Bhagavad Dharma. Boro Kripa Koilo Krishna Adhamera Prati. He says, my dear Lord, please be merciful unto me. People, actually, when Srila Prabhupada, when the boat, Jaladuta, it docks at Boston Harbor, that means it's at the port, it's just going to dock. Uske pehle, there is one port which comes, so it has docked there for a while. So that time, Srila Prabhupada, he is entering America now, so he is realizing that this is something very intense. Shri Radha Madhava Bhagwan ki, Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki. So at Boston Harbor, he's writing this poem, Markine Bhagavad Dharma. And he's praying for mercy. He's asking for Lord Krishna to be merciful unto him. He's praying for empowerment. He says, you must have, my dear Lord, you must have some reason, otherwise why will you bring me here? How are these people going to understand the message of Bhagavatam? But if you want, it is possible. You have given me the title Bhaktivedanta. So now, it is up to you to make it true. Like that he's writing in the poem. That kind of prayerful offering he makes. So Srila Prabhupada's mood is like that. When he enters America, he really didn't know. He writes in his diary, I didn't know whether to turn right or left. He just had one sponsor, Gopal Agrawal. That also, he's not living in New York. He was living in Butler, Pennsylvania. That is in suburbs, Not even suburbs, it was the countryside. So there so Srila Prabhupada, this is after he gets 2 heart attacks on the ship. He's already 70. 70th birthday is celebrated on the ship. So now he's reached Boston Harbor. So then he's in Butler, Pennsylvania, staying at the Agrawal's house. In the Agrawal's house, he has to share the fridge wherein they keep meat in the fridge. And he has to keep his own grains, cereals. He carried with him some cereals. That same fridge he was using. And Sally Agrawal, she used to smoke in the house. So why is a sannyasi, 70 years old? He could have chosen to remain in Radha Damodar Mandir. Srila Prabhupada was staying at Radha Damodar Mandir before going to America. Already 69 years old at that time, he could have stayed there. Life would have been peaceful. Retirement age. What does everybody understand about retirement? Retirement means, ho gaya abhi. Just now enjoy. Be peaceful, enjoy. That kind of mentality is there. No need to work hard. But Srila Prabhupada is starting a mission at this age. He could have chosen to remain there, but he did not. This is Srila Prabhupada's compassion. There are so many amazing qualities that we find in the personality of Srila Prabhupada that not only is it directly and extremely inspirational, but any time you have a problem in your life, if you compare with what Srila Prabhupada went through, you will find that ours is so small. It's almost insignificant. You can try this exercise. Because the kind of austerities that he underwent are phenomenal for anyone at that age. Age is a major factor. So, Srila Prabhupada, when he reaches, then he is staying with the Agrawals. Then from the Agrawals, he goes to Dr. Mishra's yoga studio. So, Dr. Mishra is a Mayavadi. That means they don't accept Krishna's form. For him, Krishna's form is not true, it's not real. So Srila Prabhupada so Dr. Mishra gave Prabhupada an opportunity to give some classes to his people. So Srila Prabhupada began speaking and he was effective. So Dr. Mishra stopped the classes of Prabhupada. But Prabhupada, he did not get very upset. He continued, he was writing, he was doing his translation work. And in fact, his compassion was so much that Dr. Mishra fell sick. And what did Prabhupada do? He didn't say, Mayavadi hai na, abhi dekho. He didn't say like that. He didn't think like this, that you don't accept Krishna, now see. His mindset was, let me nurse him back to health. And he cooked for Dr. Mishra. He cooked. And he nursed Dr. Mishra back to health. Mayavadi sannyasi. This is Srila Prabhupada's personal dealings, full of love. So Dr. Mishra, but then Srila Prabhupada realized that what is there in Dr. Mishra's studio, this is uptown New York. He is having some widows who are coming, some rich people are coming, and that's how his maintenance is going on. But this is not how I am going to start a mission. This is not how I am going to start a revolution. So then he saw, where is it happening? Where is the happening place? That is in the lower east side. That place is called the Bowery. So Bowery, Srila Prabhupada shifted to. So, in the last couple of chapters we have read how his encounter in the Bowery has been. Bowery was the worst situation because at that time, now this is 60 years ago, so the youth of America had become very much disillusioned and they did not want to engage in materialistic living like their parents. They didn't want to do that. So then they formed a counterculture of their own. Culture is something that's going on in the society. Like nowadays we have a certain culture that students we have to train our children for competitive exams, and then they give some exams, then they get into colleges, then they'll get some jobs, etc. That's called the culture. That's the flow, general flow. So these youth were so disillusioned, they didn't want anything to do with the culture. So then they started a counterculture called the hippie culture. So these hippies were people were youth, boys and girls, in their late teens and their 20s, coming from good families, who had facilities in life, but they had given up all of that and they were living in very ignorant conditions, very tamasic conditions, like having all kinds of bad habits, drinking, not taking bath at all, enjoying with the opposite sex freely, and taking a lot of drugs for recreation and music. This was their life. We cannot imagine, because such people don't exist now. Somehow that time this was counterculture. Counterculture were rebellious people. They thought कि अभी जो भी regular लोग करते हैं इनसे अलग हम करेंगे. Now what has happened, this counterculture is fused in regular culture. So people taking drugs is not very uncommon nowadays. It's very unfortunate. Especially in the Western countries, it's very common. Intoxication is a major issue. Last year, ISKCON Delhi, so we had this, we called in the Indira Gandhi Stadium, that was thousands of youth had come, and that they put some Guinness Book of World Records also, that they took an anti-addiction oath, de-addiction oath. So they called celebrities, they called ministers, they called important personalities, and everybody took an oath that we will not get addicted and we will also prevent others from getting into addiction. So ISKCON did this, that big endeavor was made last year, de-addiction drive they did. Because addiction is like that, substance abuse is like that. Everybody searches for something higher. Especially in youth, they all want something higher. So these youth were so much off track that they were into they were addicted to a lot of drugs, different types and varieties of drugs they used to experiment with. So this was the situation in the 1960s. And Srila Prabhupada, he reached there at that time, at the Bowery. And there he saw that this youth is completely, they are disillusioned youth completely. So what to do? So Srila Prabhupada did what he does, that is preaching Krishna consciousness. So in the Bowery, also he used to take classes, Bhagavad Gita classes, 3 days a week. He used to do Harinam Sankirtan with those few followers who used to come. Then it so happened that his roommate, he had a mental breakdown. He had a sudden attack, panic attack. And he was addicted, so he took some overdose of drug. And he came like that in front of Prabhupada. And it was as if he was going to attack him. So Prabhupada understood, and he just ran out of that room and came downstairs. And then he called his another associate, Mukunda Das, and he asked him that Michael, that time his name was Michael, that this is going on. So Karlapati, first he called Karlapati, and then he tells, Karlapati takes him to Mukunda. And then they figure out this place at 26 2nd Avenue. So now this is going to become the first ISKCON temple, Matchless Gifts store, 26 2nd Avenue at New York. So they find that place, they get a place for Prabhupada to stay. And we were reading in the previous time also that the landlord, so how Prabhupada cultivated him, he gave him a gift of his books, Bhagavatam, he gave. And he signed it and gave. As a gift he gave. And he also, so because the landlord was asking for a certain rent, so Srila Prabhupada said, you become a member of my society. You become a member of my society, this is a complimentary books for that, and you must pay this many dollars every month. So what happened, when he first gave the books, then the landlord felt very nice because from the author, signed author, he got the books himself, so he felt very happy. And then Prabhupada said, now every month you must pay this much, every member is paying. So then like that he got the rent reduced also. So this is 26 2nd Avenue, already they are there. Now this is the narrative that Satswarup Maharaj, this Srila Prabhupada's disciple who wrote this Lilamrta, he and his team in the mid-80s, they went all over ISKCON, they interviewed all the people who had, all the devotees and people outside who had any interaction with Prabhupada, they interviewed them. And a compilation of that, they created this whole book series called the Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta. A must read for everyone. We are right now trying to create a course based on this Lilamrta, which is actually trying to be compulsory for everyone in ISKCON. That means when you come to the society, the first thing you must know is Srila Prabhupada's life. Otherwise, because it's very simple, you don't know where you come from, you don't know where to go. If in front of you, if a plate is put of food, if it is bhoga or prasad, you don't know. If it is bhoga, what will you do? So if you don't know where it is coming from, you don't know where to go. So orientation is so crucial. Every organization has legacy. That means that they have some history of the founder. And those values are the primary values. In the same way, in our life also, why we came to this society, why we are coming to the temple, is, we may be attracted to some anga or limb of devotional service. However, to become fixed up, it becomes so crucial to understand Srila Prabhupada's mood and mission. And that comes out very beautifully through the study of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta. His amazing divine qualities come out, and such great inspirational material as well. So, here we find that now, you see, this is Krishna's arrangement. What is Krishna's arrangement? That the peak of Kali Yuga is there in New York. Today also you go, New York is called the Big Apple. New York is a heavy materialistic city, heavy. The vibrations, extreme passion, extreme ignorance. Anybody who goes there, they can feel that. We have many devotees who are from New York originally and who keep visiting. And they see that the intensity of materialism in New York is extreme. So Prabhupada went there, right there. At one point Prabhupada said that, when Prabhupada was growing up, going to London was something very special. Even Mahatma Gandhi, who was Prabhupada's predecessor, who was, in contemporary times, he was much elder. He also went to London. So going to London, becoming barrister was considered at that time to be very significant. But Prabhupada, he felt that, no, I have to go to New York. I have to go to America. Because he knew that people, where it's going to hit hard, Kali Yuga hardest is hit at New York. So Srila Prabhupada decided to go to New York. And it is amazing, Krishna's arrangement, that this entire hippie culture was going on that time. And Prabhupada came right there to guide them. And he became their natural guru for the hippies. So many of the initial followers, we will see those who joined later on, they were all from this hippie movement. And they were addicted to intoxication, illicit sex, gambling, meat eating. They were addicted. One time Srila Prabhupada said to all those devotees, you must follow the 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. These 4 things you must not do. So the hippie said, then what should we do? Because that was their life. This is all they did. So Srila Prabhupada said, no, not doing all of this. So these kind of sinful people were there. They say Nityanand Prabhu, he delivered one jagai in Madhava. And here there were countless of them. Countless. Everybody same category. And Srila Prabhupada went there. What kind of boldness. At 70, you are broke, you have no money. You are, you don't have any support, you don't know anybody. In a foreign country, wherein they are native English speakers. Srila Prabhupada, he studied English at Scottish Churches College. So his English was also very first class. However, Indian English is different from American English. When they speak, you don't understand the accent many times, or vice versa. When an Indian who is very strongly, like Srila Prabhupada, had a Bengali, thick Bengali accent. So when he spoke, there was communication difficulty also. So considering all of this, still Srila Prabhupada went. So what was it? It was not material. People immigrate to different towns, cities and countries in order to make a living, to make it big in life, so that they can earn some money, have property, have a better standard of living. That's why people immigrate. That's the only reason why people immigrate, to enjoy. And here is this person who goes in old age, faces extreme struggle. And the reason why he does it, he says, it is only for the satisfaction of my spiritual master. My Guru Maharaj ordered me to preach in the English language in the Western world. So for that, he is taking this kind of risk and austerity. This is the greatness of Srila Prabhupada. So we find that he is going to New York. So now this is, this passage that we just read describes Prabhupada's arrival there. And no neighbors didn't care. They did not know this is Jagat Guru who has come to live next to them. Today, there are more than 1,200 ISKCON temples around the world. And we find that it was calculated that every minute there is Guru Puja happening somewhere. Because idhar khatam ho gaya, to somewhere else in the world, Guru Puja is going on. So Prabhupada is being glorified like that. Every day in Guru Puja we sing Ebe Jaj Gushuk Tribhuvana. We sing, may you be glorified in all the three worlds. That's going on. So Prabhupada is being glorified. But when he was there, 60 years ago, people in the neighborhood, they cared a damn about it. They had nothing. For them it was not significant at all. But what did Srila Prabhupada do? He continued with his mission. That's a big lesson, that whether there is appreciation or not, the spiritualist functions out of gratitude and duty for his spiritual master's mission. He functions for that. He doesn't function for people's acknowledgement, validation or fame. It doesn't matter. So Prabhupada just went on steadfastly. And that 26-second Avenue, just imagine, today we try to do some bridge preaching. We try to make things in a way that people can accept, understand. But Srila Prabhupada is at 26-second Avenue. There is a photo of Panchatattva. And those people were so cut off from Indian culture that time. And lectures on Bhagavad Gita, direct. And people started coming. He put an advertisement on the storefront. Storefront matlab dukan jaisa, samajhte hai? It's like on the road it's a shop. But open it was a shop, matchless gift shop tha. So they kept the title because it was matchless gift, what Prabhupada was giving. Matchless means there's no match to it. And gift, because it is a gift. Spiritual life is that. Srila Prabhupada was giving the gift of spiritual life to everyone. So that was matchless gifts, 26-second Avenue. This is the first ISKCON center coming up in New York. So some of them, they were going to attend. So now ahead is the description of some people who got attracted by that sign. They decided to go for those classes. July 1966, Howard Wheeler was hurrying from his apartment on Mott Street to a friend's apartment on 5th Street, a quiet place where he hoped to find some peace. He walked up Mott Street to Houston, turned right and began to walk east across Bowery, past the rushing traffic and stumbling derelicts, and towards 2nd Avenue. Howard. After crossing Bowery, just before 2nd Avenue, I saw Swamiji jauntily strolling down the sidewalk, his head held high in the air, his hand in the bead bag. He struck me like a famous actor in a very familiar movie. He seemed ageless. He was wearing the traditional saffron clothes, colored robes of a sannyasi and quaint white shoes with points. Coming down Houston, he looked like the genie that popped out of Aladdin's lamp. This is Howard, this is Hayagriva. He becomes Hayagriva, he does great service. This is the first, he is mentioning his first vision of Swamiji. Prabhupada is in saffron cloth. Nobody even understands what is the meaning of saffron cloth in New York that time. But he did not change. Dr. Mishra changed. Dr. Mishra was also sannyasi, Mayavadi sannyasi. He used to wear pant and shirt. He was wearing like that. So Prabhupada felt, why is he's a sannyasi? Why is he not wearing Indian traditional clothes? And that was because Dr. Mishra, he compromised his principles to become one of them. But you see how Prabhupada was, he came to give the culture. So he remained who he was. And you see how Howard Wheeler, this Hayagriva Prabhu, he's mentioning the first impression that Prabhupada gave. He's walking with his head held high. So नीचे देख कर नहीं चल रहे हैं. His deep inner sense of confidence Srila Prabhupada has out of faith. And he looked completely out of place. Because nobody in New York would wear something like that. आज आप जाएंगे, if you go to New York, now saffron robes are not a big thing because devotees have been doing Harinam since 60 years now there. So now it's not something completely unseen. However, at that time, it was amazing that Prabhupada, he didn't come to become one of them, he came to give them what they lacked. One time in London, they asked Swamiji, why have you come? So Prabhupada replied, I came to give you Britishers what you all forgot to take. When you left India, what you forgot to take, that was Indian culture that I have come to give you. So Prabhupada's mood was like that, totally uncompromising and fearless, bold. Very important lesson we learn that when we are going out to give out Krishna consciousness, we don't need to compromise our principles. We don't need to compromise. We do our service as an offering to our spiritual master and the previous acharyas. We do it as a seva. And by their mercy, results will come. When Srila Prabhupada became successful, he said, all of you have been sent by my Guru Maharaj. He never said, because I was like this, so I was able to attract you. Never. It was always that he completely dependent on Krishna. And in one letter, Srila Prabhupada mentioned the principle of preaching. He says the principle of preaching is not to attract a crowd. It is not to attract a crowd. Kitne log, sometimes in our programs also we say, itne log aaye the. We have that thing, itne log aaye the. Numbers. So although practically, managerially it may be considered, however, the fact of the matter is that preaching doesn't happen by crowd attraction. It happens when one sincerely tries to please Guru and Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada in this letter, he says, he writes this letter to Lilamrta Prabhu. He is the devotee who started the Australian Yatra. Ek ladka, he's 18 years old boy, whom Srila Prabhu, he was so excited and enthused. Ye New York mein hi join hua tha wo. So Srila Prabhupada said, he was encouraging all the disciples, go to different parts. So in Srila Prabhupada's office in New York, there used to be a globe. World का मैप होता था. तो ऐसे घुमाते थे. And then he used to, wherever it used to stop, he used to point somewhere. And then he used to say, who will go here? कौन जाएगा? So then some excited disciples who wanted to take Srila Prabhupada's mercy, they used to say, I will go. And Prabhupada used to encourage them. And these boys, they were able to open and spread Krishna consciousness. They became the torch bearers of Chaitanya's mission, Lord Chaitanya's mission in different places around the world. So Lilamrta Prabhu was like that. He said, I'll go to Australia. Akela ladka is from New York. He went to Australia alone to start. So Srila Prabhupada wrote him a letter encouraging him. He said that the principle of preaching is not to attract a crowd. It is to sincerely go chant and glorify the Supreme Lord. If Krishna is pleased, he will, as Paramatma within the heart of everyone, he will send sincere souls to you. वो भेजेंगे लोगों को. So this is the Srila Prabhupada mentioned, such a crucial thing to understand that how preaching actually works, how effectiveness works. Krishna is sitting as Paramatma within my heart, he is sitting as Paramatma within everyone's heart. If he is pleased, he will automatically send people. You don't need to do anything extra other than please Guru and Krishna. We need to think like this. So Lilamrta Prabhu, they did some amazing austerity at that time in Australia. And then he was joined by another devotee called Upendra Prabhu. And then they built the entire Australian Yatra. So many temples they built. And they made it spread so much. That's how Krishna consciousness spread all over the world. It was purely spiritual. Sometimes people have all these wrong notions that it's all about the money. Money is coming from somewhere, or everything is central, etc., etc. But that's all a very materialistic way of looking. That's why Srila Prabhupada's life is very crucial to understand. What this man is, who he is, what he stands for. Every sincere sadhaka who wants to grow and advance in spiritual life, they should do Prabhupada life study. Very crucial. So coming back, so this is New York. So this is Howard Wheeler. He saw Prabhupada being the way he is at New York. Howard, age 26, was a tall, large-bodied man with long dark hair, a profuse beard, and black-framed eyeglasses. He was an instructor in English at Ohio State University and was fresh from a trip to India where he had been looking for a true guru. Now, is this coincidence? We should understand as practicing devotees, anything that happens in our life is not coincidental. Coincidence means by chance. ये गुरु के शोध में this Howard and his friends, they went to India, वहाँ पर नहीं मिला, they came back, and then suddenly at 26 2nd Avenue in New York, he's walking on the street, he sees Prabhupada, searching for a guru, and he meets one. This is Guru Tattva. If we are sincere in our heart for Krishna's instruction, then he will send his bona fide representative or representatives to us to tell us how to go back to him. And that works at every stage in life. It's not that if I have taken Diksha, I'm done, ho gaya. Goal of life achieved. अब तो back to God जाना निश्चित है. It's not like that. You see, spiritual life is an active, dynamic process of pleasing Krishna. So I need to know what I need to do in order to please him. So I need to be in that consciousness. This is called being sincere. Sincerity is the primary quality that as sadhakas, everyone should try to develop. Sincerity. One time, Srila Prabhupada's disciple Bhagavat Prabhu, he asked, Prabhupada, how can I develop sincerity? Srila Prabhupada replied, you develop sincerity by being sincere. Which means that you are always thinking about how to please Krishna, how to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. Then a couple of days passed by, few months passed by, in one program, this Bhagavat Prabhu was also sitting, and Prabhupada was giving a class. And there in that class, he was giving a class to outsiders, not ISKCON devotees, outsiders. So outsiders, he said, see my disciple Bhagavat, he is very sincere. So this Bhagavat Prabhu, he says that I realized now that my desire to become sincere and my acting in order to please Krishna, that thought process of how I can become sincere, how I can please Krishna, that Prabhupada identified and he confirmed it saying, he is sincere. So this is something that all of us at an individual level can strive to cultivate. This sincerity. Sincerity. Any senior can understand if a junior is sincere or not. Even in a class, if a teacher is there, they know who are the sincere students, who are not. So sincerity is not some big rocket science. It's something very simple. So let us try to become sincere like that. And then Shri Guru comes in our life. Krishna's instruction comes in our life. Like he came for Howard Wheeler. इंडिया गया शोधने के लिए गुरु और गुरु आ गए सामने से. Same thing happened with Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj he went outside when his mother Suniti told him go and search for Vishnu. Vishnu can only fulfill your desire. So he goes in the forest with a sincere desire to look out for Vishnu. And whom does he meet? Guru appears. He comes. How the instruction will not come if we are sincere? So when Gaur Govind Maharaj was asked that I am praying to Krishna and I want a guru, I want good instruction, but I am not getting. So what is wrong? What is missing? And Maharaj replied, because you are not crying enough. That means you sincerely must cry, sincerely must want it. So spiritual life is nothing but a product of our desire. Actually, everything is a product of our desire, more or less. Right? The Krishna system is there, modes of nature. We only choose whether to surrender to Krishna or not. That's it. Everything else is systematized. So, going ahead. Prabhupada noticed Howard. Prabhupada is noticing Howard. They both stopped simultaneously. Howard asked the first question that popped into his mind. Are you from India? How amazing is this? A guru dhund raha hai. He comes and he is walking, he sees Prabhupada, both of them stop. How? Who is acting here? Paramatma. Paramatma is acting. So Prabhupada smiled and said, oh yes, and you? Prabhupada asked him, tum bhi India se ho kya? Howard. I told him no, but that I had just returned from India and was very interested in his country and the Hindu philosophy. He told me he had come from Calcutta and had been in New York almost 10 months. His eyes were fresh and cordial as a child's, and even standing before the trucks that rode and rumbled their way down Houston Street, he emanated a cool tranquility that was unshakably established in something far beyond the great metropolis that roared around us. It's amazing. Srila Prabhupada is in New York, but he is not acting as if he is from New York. There is a famous saying called, in Rome, do as the Romans do. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Whichever place we are, we act like that. You should act like that. Ek saying hai. That's how people generally also function. But Srila Prabhupada, it was very evident he's in New York, but he's not from there. He was very cool, very calm. This is the spiritual aura and presence that he carried. Howard never made it to his friend's place that day. वो पहुंचा ही नहीं अपने friend के घर. He went back to his own apartment. U-turn later, he went back to his own apartment at Mott Street to Keith and Wally, his roommates, to tell them and everyone he knew about the Guru who had inexplicably appeared within their midst. इतना excite हो गए Howard that वो जो friend को मिलने जा रहा था, he didn't go there. He took a U-turn and went back to his house where he was staying with his roommates, Keith and Wally. And he told them, Guru has come. Guru has arrived. Howard and Keith had been to India. Now they were involved in various spiritual philosophies. And their friends used to come over and talk about enlightenment. 18-year-old Chuck Barnett was a regular visitor. So Keith and Howard, this is the first batch of disciples. This Howard becomes Hayagriva. He takes sannyas. Later on he becomes Hayagriva Swami. Keith becomes Kirtanananda. Kirtanananda becomes Kirtanananda Swami. He did a great service. New Vrindavan Temple, New Vrindavan Farm Project. First Prabhupada's first project. Kirtanananda became the first ISKCON sannyasi. 1968 Prabhupada gave him sannyas in Chippiwada. There is a big, this Chuck, 18-year-old Chuck is coming to them. He becomes Achyutananda. He is the first devotee who came to India, sent in Calcutta. Calcutta center khola, Vrindavan mein tha, and then Mayapur. All these places he went and he did pioneering. Came to Hyderabad also, Achyutananda Swami. Medchal farm, he was there. Achyutananda Swami. And Wally became Umapati. Umapati also took sannyas later on, became Umapati Swami. Still he is there, preaching in China. So, we understand, we don't know. This is a very big principle actually. While we are becoming instrumental in preaching Krishna consciousness, we don't know who is the next Acharya also. We don't know. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada, he always was not only very compassionate, he was also very, very grateful. We don't know who is the next person. So, as a leadership principle, one thing we learn from Srila Prabhupada is to act and deal with people according to their potential, not according to their faults. Everybody has the potential to become a pure devotee. Everybody has the potential to become Krishna conscious. So imagine if somebody is a pure devotee next to us, how will we deal with them? We will deal with them with a lot of respect. We will deal with them very gently, very kindly, and very humbly. So these are some things we can keep in mind because we don't know who is the next Acharya. They may come out from the people whom are around us. We don't know. So therefore never keep materialistic mentality dealing with devotees. Somehow our internal cultivation should be always progressive in Vaishnava Sangha, which is not to look at the faults of devotees, but to see their good qualities. That is encouraging. There was one pastime, there was one devotee called Aniruddha. So Aniruddha Prabhu, he did some service in the Los Angeles temple. Actually, he was the pioneer. Somehow he had some fall down. And then after that, he was not coming to the temple. One time, Srila Prabhupada was visiting Hawaii. So he told the president there, that this Aniruddha, I heard he is in Hawaii. Have you seen him? Now, when he told, that time, Srila Prabhupada was actually at the airport. And all the devotees had come to drop him off at the airport. And Aniruddha was also there, behind, because he didn't want to be seen. Because he was not even in dhoti, he was in pant. And he was having some ear studs, alag hi dikh raha tha. So he didn't want to come in front of the devotees standing at the back. Devotees told him, go Aniruddha, go, Prabhupada is calling for you. So Prabhupada got Aniruddha. He said, come, I am so happy to see you. He made Aniruddha Prabhu sit next to him. And they exchanged pleasantries. Srila Prabhupada inquired about him, asked about him, encouraged him. He asked Aniruddha, how are you doing? Aniruddha said, I am not doing so well. Srila Prabhupada encouraged him. Then he looked at all of the others and he said, in Los Angeles, he was the beginning. So all those devotees who were there, they felt, their mindset changed. Because how was their mood? Their mood was critical. That was their mood. But when they saw how Prabhupada said, he was the beginning. He didn't even say that he helped me establish, no, he was the beginning. So when Prabhupada said this, those devotees felt that how special was not only that devotee, but also Srila Prabhupada, who felt that every devotee who has contributed in the mission in some way, Srila Prabhupada was grateful for that. So this is a special Vaishnava quality we see from Srila Prabhupada. There was one devotee called Devarshi Prabhu, who also he happened to live, and he did something not very good. So then the temples also banned him. Mandir mein mat aao. So he used to be outside waiting. One time Prabhupada arrived in one temple, Devarshi Prabhu was outside. So the servant of Prabhupada told Devarshi Prabhu, go and meet Prabhupada. So Devarshi Prabhu went and met Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada told him, Devarshi, how are you doing? So Devarshi said, this happened, so now I am not allowed to go in ISKCON temples. Prabhupada said, you come and travel with me. Everybody else is institutionally banning him, and Prabhupada is wanting to make him a part of his own entourage. Come travel with me. So that was the special compassion that Srila Prabhupada had for devotees. His personality was so charming. One time Giriraj Maharaj, his parents, they met Prabhupada and they were so impressed. Giriraj Maharaj's mother was 60 years old, and Prabhupada said, oh, Mrs. Teton, you look very young. And she was very happy. He pleased them. Then Srila Prabhupada, his Rolls Royce came. The devotees had arranged in Boston, they had arranged Rolls Royce. So then the car came. And Prabhupada told Mr. Teton, this is Giriraj Swami's father, he said, why don't you travel with me? And he said, no, we will come in the car back. You go with the disciples. But he was very pleased at being asked like this. And devotees observed this, including Giriraj Swami, who told Srila Prabhupada, you are so charming, everyone loves you. And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, because I love everyone. So that was Srila Prabhupada's mood. One time, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he was undergoing a surgery in Bombay. He was undergoing an operation. And he had a dream. In the dream, he saw that all the Acharyas, they had come, they were asking for a report from Prabhupada. They were asking for a report of preaching from Srila Prabhupada. How is preaching going on? And Prabhupada is standing there giving a report to all the Purva Acharyas. And Srila Prabhupada is speaking. This is all happening in Tamal Krishna Maharaj's dream. And Prabhupada is giving a report. He is saying that actually these people in this planet, I saw, they are not pious. They don't even want to study. So very few good qualities. But one good quality is that they have taken shelter at my feet. That is one good quality they have. And because of this, they will be delivered, the Acharya said. Because of this, they will be delivered. So this report got over. Meanwhile, Prabhupada did not want Tamal Krishna Maharaj to do that operation there. So Prabhupada was on the way in the jeep to come to stop the operation from happening. So Prabhupada arrived there, but by then the operation was over. So then Tamal Krishna Maharaj saw Prabhupada, he was surprised. He said, Prabhupada, I just had this dream. Acharyas are taking report, and you are saying the only good qualification they have is that they are surrendered to my feet. And Prabhupada very humbly said, yes, that is true. So let us offer ourselves and our services to this special personality, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and his representatives who took such great pains to spread this Krishna consciousness movement, and thus we can make our life successful by becoming an instrument in Lord Chaitanya's mission. Srila Prabhupada, he said one time that Mahaprabhu is all powerful and his devotees also. So all the Acharyas, all the Purva Acharyas, if they wanted, they could make the world Krishna conscious like this. Not difficult for them. So one devotee said that then, Srila Prabhupada, but they didn't preach everywhere around the world, you did it. So Srila Prabhupada said, yes, that is their mercy. They left it for us. So the whole world is going to, there is a surge of Krishna consciousness. Every town and village, Mahaprabhu has predicted, the holy name will be heard. So Srila Prabhupada said, you can become instrument and you take the credit. So the take-home message for us is, we should become instrumental in Lord Chaitanya's movement and take the credit. Because अगर हम नहीं करेंगे तो कोई और आकर करेगा. And success is 100% going to happen. Because Mahaprabhu's mission is supposed to spread. So if we do it, we get the credit. Srila Prabhupada ki. Yeah. Any one question or comment? Yes. Pass on the mic, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful pastime of Srila Prabhupada that you narrated. Prabhuji, in the class you mentioned that spiritual life is nothing but product of our desire. If you can elaborate on this, Prabhuji.
Desire is a full class. Desire is such a deep topic. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we came here, Ichha Dvesha Samuthena Dvandva Mohena Bharata. We came in this world because we desire to become Krishna. So all our mini Krishnas, they are fighting. Krishna, because Krishna is supreme controller. He is a supreme enjoyer. And that's the competition. So desire, so our desire is, just one line is what? Our desire, what do we desire? Whether we desire to surrender to Krishna, whether to have Him or not. Whether to enjoy a life of Satchidananda, of eternal bliss, knowledge. Whether we desire this or we desire materialism, that choice is always up to us. And how do we understand this? Well, desire comes through in our prayers. What do we come and pray to the Lord? So desire, we are a product of our desire, because whatever happens in our life, prarabdha, is because at one point we desired it. We desired the situation, so it comes in our life like that. It's called prarabdha karma. And where we go ahead from here is also a product of our desire. So the living entity, philosophically speaking from Bhagavad Gita, at every given point in time, has only one free will. That desire, whether he wants to offer it to Krishna or not. That's all. If he doesn't, then he is into the modes of nature. So cycle, it's a system. So those like us who are struggling sadhakas, trying to get ourselves free from the modes of material nature, that's the only thing we can do. Desire purely and sincerely for Krishna's pleasure. That is all.
And Prabhuji, we have imagination also. So that is also same thing, that we are desiring something?
Desire is more feeling. Imagination is a product of the mind. If you take your imagination too seriously, then that's an issue. But desire is something which is, I feel, I want. That's desire, ichha. Okay, so we'll end here. Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhaktavrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
His Grace Nitai Mahaprabhu ki.